What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building, and today I got a very special banger lined up for y'all, man. Today I'm gonna be bringing y'all the top 3 best rare power forwards coming at y'all on NBA 2K21 current gen. Now, before we get into the making, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new to the Rich Gang family, and any new supporters, I would appreciate it if y'all went ahead and hit that like button. Helps me out so much. Then y'all need to go ahead and turn on post notifications as well to be sure that you do not miss my uploads every single day. So with the first build that I got lined up for y'all, I'm going to be bringing y'all the 3-point power forward build. So of course you want to go ahead and make this build under the power forward position. Then, when it comes to the pie chart, this is going to be very specific. Go ahead and pick the one split right down the middle with the shooting as well as the playmaking. I'm telling you, this one is going to be very nice, especially with that name that we're going to be getting. Then when it comes to the physical profile, you definitely have a couple of options that you could pick from. A lot of people really like the first one just because of the max speed that you're able to get. But I'm telling you, this one only has 3 ticks off of the speed, and you still get a huge boost to your vertical. Do not worry about the stats so much right now. These are all going to change. So when it comes to the shooting, put that mid-range shot all the way up to a 70. If you go to an 80, you're going to change up the build name, and you do not want to do that. So when it comes to the three-pointer, go with a 76. Free throw an 87, and the post fade a 79. Now, that's going to give us 20 badges right there on the shooting. When it comes to the playmaking, pass accuracy is going to be a 75. 65 ball handle with a 75 post moves for another 20 badges on this build. Now, let's go ahead and get into the best part, the defense, y'all. So as you can see, what we're going to go ahead and do here is max out your interior defense. Same thing with the perimeter, lateral quickness, block, offensive rebound, and also the defensive rebound. From there, the steal is going to be a 58. That's going to give us 11 badges, and the rest of the way, you can all put them towards your driving layup, and that is going to make it just perfect. So when it comes to the height, you have a couple different options. I'm going to go with 6'8". I really feel like that is going to be the best height for this build. And especially when you combine it with the weight, you can go with the lowest if you definitely want to go ahead and risk it. But I'm telling you, you necessarily do not need to do that. If you want to, you could go with 187 or anything in the 180 range. Now let's go ahead and get into the wingspan. So you really have to be careful and look at the stats when you are adjusting your wingspan on this build. Gonna be a huge key thing when it comes to it, because you do not want to get too low of a 3-ball, but you also do not want to risk any stats that you could keep as is. So as you can see with these takeovers, we get the lockdown. Also going to be getting the playmaking, then we get the post scoring, and on top of all that, we get the rim protecting, which pretty much makes this build a 2-way. So I'm going to go with the rim protecting, and as y'all can see, we have made the 3-point power forward. Now, let's go ahead and get into the next build that I got lined up for y'all. This is a pure glass cleaner that is definitely going to be able to shoot, y'all. Now, y'all centers who want to be versatile on both sides of the floor, this is definitely going to be the build for you, especially if you know how to time your jump shot right, how to grind out these builds super quick, and on top of all that, play elite defense. So, if y'all made it this far, go ahead and let me know what y'all thought about that first build that I brought at y'all. Honestly, I can say that all of the builds in this video are going to be very useful, but you are definitely going to want to grind these out. If you leave them and you don't max them out, you are not reaching the full potential of this build or any build. So that is just something that I would highly recommend if you're looking to make one of these. Now, in my opinion, when it comes to the center versus the power forward build and actual position, this power forward build is easily going to be better than any center glass cleaner that you have seen because of the versatility that it comes with. And on top of all that, the badge count is really going to be nice. So y'all might as well as hit that like button since y'all are already here. Hit that sub button, but be sure to turn on post notifications, because I'm telling you, I upload every single day. You are not going to want to miss the bangers that I got in store for y'all. I got a lot of new content coming out. Now, let's go ahead and get into the making first. Go ahead and put this build under the power forward position. Now, when it comes to the pie chart, if you are thinking this one, you probably guessed correctly. We're going to pick the one split right down the middle with the shooting as well as the defense. Now, when it comes to the physical profile, in my opinion, I truly believe that it's going to be best to pick the one with the 68 speed, 65 acceleration, and the 74 vertical. Now let's go ahead and get into these stats on the finishing side. Go ahead and max out your first 4 categories for the finishing, and that's going to give you 9 badges. Then when it comes to the shooting, we're actually going to be able to max out the first 3 categories and go ahead and put the post fade to a 78 for 19 shooting badges. Now, we're going to go ahead and skip the playmaking. Let's get into the defense. Max up the first 3 categories in your interior, perimeter defense, and lateral quickness. Then from there, go ahead and max out the bottom 2. And then when it comes to the block, you could go with an 83 as well. And that's going to be the badge count that we get for this build. So, when it comes to the height, I'm going with 6'9". The weight, you can definitely consider raising it up if you want to, but with my preference, I want to pick something balanced. So I really feel like something in the 250s range is going to be good, especially with that gym rat badge. We're getting a +8 to all of our physicals, so that is something you really have to take into consideration. Now, when it comes to the wingspan, be sure that you are looking at your 3-point shot when you take this into account. So, with my preference, I want to be able to get at least a 73 ball. That's just my preference. If you want to, you could go even higher with the wingspan. It really comes down to what you like and what you want to risk when it comes to this build. But as you can see, the 3 takeovers that we get: rim protecting, glass cleaning, and sharp shooting. Now, the stats on this build are definitely to go hand in hand with either of these takeovers. Now, as y'all can see, we have got the pure glass cleaner name, and I'm telling you, this is very different because it can shoot and the versatility that it comes with. Now, let's go ahead and get into the last build that I got lined up for y'all, the stretch playmaker. Now, for those of y'all who know of just the stretch by itself, you know how deadly it is when it comes to this build. Easily in 2K19, this was the best build possible. So, if y'all know about this build, go ahead and drop down a comment. But if you know about the pure playmakers, this build is literally a pure playmaker and a pure stretch put in together in one. And this build literally is going to be broken once you use it. This is easily one of my favorite rare builds that you will be seeing this year, especially when it comes to the current gen. Not too many people have been using this build as much as they did in the beginning of the year, but this build is definitely going to be one of the best rare builds that you can definitely use, especially the fact that it's coming out of the power forward version is why I had to put it on this list. Honestly, going to be something very game changing, especially if it's in the right hands and you grind it out to 99. Now, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown. So, the pie chart that y'all want to go ahead and pick is going to be the one right here, split right down the middle with the playmaking as well as the shooting. Then, when it comes to the physical profile, the one that you're going to want to pick for this build, if you want the max speed and the highest possible, go ahead and pick the first one. But if you want to go ahead and get some to your vertical added up, I would definitely go ahead and pick the one that is going to be the 4th. Going to be getting a huge boost to your vertical, and on top of all that, we all get a +8 from that gym rat badge. So, let's go ahead and get into the making of the build now. So, when it comes to the shooting side of things, of course, we're maxing out the mid-range shot, 3-pointer, and the free throw, and then with the post fade, go with a 62 to keep it at 20 badges. Now, when it comes to the playmaking, go ahead and max out your pass accuracy, max out your ball handle, and then when it comes to the post moves, you can max this out if you want to, but you necessarily do not need to. If you do, we're getting 23 badges, which is honestly very solid for this build. Now, let's go ahead and get into the defense. Max out your first 3 categories as well as the bottom 3. Then go ahead and leave the steal out. Now, when it comes to the finishing, go ahead and put the rest towards your driving layup, or you could even go to your close shot. It really comes down to what you want to do with these last couple of stats, but feel free to go into your driving layup, driving dunk, or even your close shot. If you don't want to do that, you could put the rest towards your steal, but I'm telling you, one of the best ways to go about it is just spread the wealth if you can do that. But either way that y'all want to go about it is going to be completely fine. Just be sure that you are making the right decision. As you can see, we actually get another badge in the shooting if you want to change some of these stats around. You could get extra badges in the defensive area. It really comes down to how you see it in the long run. Now let's go ahead and get into the making of the height. So, We're going to go with 6-7 for this build. I'm telling you, going to give you a lot of boost to your stats. Then when it comes to the weight, with my preference, I would highly say that something in the lower range is definitely going to be okay. But even if you max this build out, your speed is still going to be in the 80s once you get that gym rat badge. So with my preference, I'm just going to go with 180. Then when it comes to the wingspan, if you go with 89.0 or you could go with the lowest, none of the lockdown takeovers are unlocked. So you really have to pay attention to your stats and see what you like for the long run, because you do not want to make this build wrong. 86.0 looks really solid in my opinion. Now when it comes to the weight, like I said earlier, if you want to go ahead and raise it, you definitely can do so. And on top of all that, we still get some pretty good takeovers out of this build. So sharpshooting, playmaking, or the shot creating, I'm going to go with the playmaking for this build. And as y'all can see, we have made the stretch playmaker. Thank y'all so much for watching this entire video through. I truly appreciate it. Just know that I'm going to continue to drop these daily. I got a special video coming for y'all tomorrow. Going to be changing up the series again, but then I'm going to add them all together, so it's going to be spread out through the week. So just know that I got a lot of bangers lined up for y'all. But man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. To the Rich Gang family, as well as any new supporters, I would appreciate it if y'all went ahead and spammed up those likes. Go ahead and turn on post notifications. But last but not least, be sure to share this banger with your family and friends, y'all. Man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.